I have a pretty effective process in place to get foundation/pillow links indexed, but most of them still don't appear in third-party tools such as Ahrefs and SEMrush. Yeah, some people like to do it. I don't, like we were saying, we don't think there's really any benefit in like force indexing something. Um, I don't think it's gonna make I don't think it's going to make Google think that it's basically any better than it already is. I mean, maybe they think it's a little bit better or something because they're actually serving it up for search. But I think you kind of like trick them in a way. Um, yeah, and this doesn't really seem so much like a question, but yeah, Ahrefs and SEMrush, maybe they're smarter than Google in this case because they just decide they're not going to show that stuff ever, no matter what you try to force. Um, I wonder if people ever like try to like force Ahrefs or SEMrush to basically add things to their index. It's basically,
Yeah, I don't know if they can, because I mean, like, also you've got to think about,
I mean, if they could force Google to
s-
index, I'm sure
s-
you could force Ahrefs to show it somehow.
but Google has more power, right? Like they've got more storage capacity, et cetera, right? Like
True.
everything that is stored in search, and this includes, on your third-party tools, has to be crawled and then stored information. And so, essentially, if they're storing information for a bunch of pillow links on a bunch of different assets, I mean, like, that would cost them a tremendous amount of money to do. And like Chris said, like, it's just not really worthwhile. Um, if you've got your backlinks, they've been indexed, then honestly, don't worry about what Ahrefs and SEMrush are showing or not showing in relation to, really, I mean, like any of your backlinks. Like I know if you're showing them to clients and you're doing client reporting and stuff like that, then that can be an issue. However, you can just take a screenshot of, these posts indexed in Google or something along those lines, um, and go from there. But Ahrefs and SEMrush showing, all of your backlinks. Um, isn't really a precursor to ranking. So, I know it'd be nice if you got perfect reporting, but it's just, not the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't try to index foundational or pillow links at all ever. And definitely not looking for them in Ahrefs or SEMrush. It's more something we just kind of do and then just forget about it. Um, there's definitely more important things you could be doing with your time or money than trying to get some profile links indexed.
But I guess like one way you could influence more indexation is like what we talked about earlier, tiered link building. Makes a particular link look a little bit more powerful. But if you're tiered link building to pillow links, I think you're probably kind of wasting a lot of
Oh,
energy
he has
and
he has
money.
some follow-ups to that. Um, so he said, I understand the third-party data doesn't matter to Google, but why these types of links don't show up? Is it due to quality? I mean, these links are placed on very high authority trusted sites. Am I missing something? Yeah, man, because they're just not important, and they understand that they're not important. Like no one cares about your profile links. No one cares about your citations. No one cares about there's so many types of things on these on user generated content sites that it's not valuable for searchers to see it, right? Um, it doesn't mean that just because they don't index it does not mean they don't know it's there. It just means that they don't think it's valuable for searchers to see. And this is a very, very important distinction. So, for example, social profiles, these are something that are explicitly mentioned in Google patents, something they really look at to try to understand, try to see that your company is basically legitimate and you are, basically trying to establish your presence on the internet. But these things are also not something that they like to index. Um, and it's just because they understand, on the one hand, these are important for us to understand what the website is doing, but it is not important for our users, people who are using Google to search. It's not important for them to see. And so this is a very important distinction. And that's the reason that we don't try to index these types of links. It's just we understand the distinction, and we're not going to try to like force Google to say searchers do want to see this. Rather than saying, hey, they're there, we know that you guys know about it, and we're just gonna go elsewhere now and do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to add
Yeah,
on that, Nick?
take like for example like a website like Home Advisor, right? Like think about how many listings exist on a website like that. And if every one of those contractors or plumbers or whoever is trying to force index every single one of their profiles, what kind of garbage search, we'd get to a certain extent. So, if you kind of look at it that way, where um, everybody's got a link on these particular places, then yeah, it's just not worthwhile as far as, again, storage goes, to have them all indexed and appear in search.
Yeah. Yeah, so my best advice is just don't worry about it. Like literally don't worry about it. Build them,
Yeah.
forget about them, move on to, the more important stuff, optimizing your content, writing new content, building, new like really high quality backlinks, stuff like that. It's not to say foundational pill links aren't important. We still build them all the time. But just you don't really need to do anything else after that. You can just kind of let it go out of your mind,
Yeah.
set it and forget it. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.